Hey everybody, I am Matt and I'm here along with.
Tristan,
And today we're
but
doing another. Who's happening? What?
am I Tristan? Am I really? Do I know? Do I
I,
know that for sure? Do you know that for sure? Are
man,
you
I don't
doing
know. Man, I don't know. But what I do know is that we're talking about Doctor Who Series 12, episodes 9 and 10. And, yeah, this was a thing. It's Doctor Who Wednesday, everybody. And, I don't know how to feel.
And this is the season finale.
Yes, this is the two-part season finale,
Yep,
Ascension of the Cybermen and the Timeless Children, even though there was only one.
one.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
Um,
yes. Yeah, I mean, there is only one, but that one has multiple lives, so maybe that's why? I'm
I don't know, man. Um, I look,
so confused.
yeah, I legitimately was confused, and you were like, "Nah, man, it gets explained." And like, I think, well, no. You were right, but I wasn't confused about. I think what you thought I was confused about.
Oh,
Okay, well, I don't wanna. I'm gonna sound like a really bad nitpicker. It might just be because I'm tired, so I apologize, everybody, if I sound like a complete and utter asshole. Uh, and
no.
Tristan, don't. Hey, stop it. His first thought was as opposed to. Fuck off. So,
Hey, I
um,
just said you laid out your own trap. I just sprung it.
that's fair. Uh, my problem with this two-parter is, and I know that some of this happens in Doctor Who at different moments in its history, especially we're talking about modern Who here specifically, so I should probably just let it go. But I'm sorry, I can't let go the fact that the Doctor, the person who is consistently sitting back like, I'm gonna save the Earth no matter what, I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna save it, sees that this Cyberman didn't show up 5 minutes before humanity was annihilated. There's been like 100-year war, and the Doctor's just fine coming towards the end of it, with like seven people left. Technically eight, if you think of Ko Sharmus as the eighth.
Huh. Okay, that's kind of fair.
So that's
Although,
the.
I mean, that was the only coordinates they had to go on, wasn't it? Like those were the coordinates they got from Shelley of where they would appear.
But they knew exactly, like, once they land, we didn't see the TARDIS until the second half. But
Yeah.
once they land there, they're like, oh fuck, this is bad. Yeah, let's go back 100 years. Like, just them landing there doesn't mean that, like, oh, we like, normally I understand the whole, well, we're already a part of this, so we can't, we're already in the timeline, we can't like go back any further. But you couldn't immediately go back any further the second you landed and saw that the Earth was in shambles. You had to go, I guess this is just the world that we have to exist in now.
But it's okay, Matt. They got to save three out of the eight.
You are correct. 3 out of the 8, yes.
I mean,
When
I
they
feel
could
like
have
that could be
saved everyone.
rough.
So that's my first thing. And again, you can call that nitpicking. You can call that, Matt, put on your suspension of disbelief goggles, which I probably should do. But
I get that one. That's kind of fair.
yeah, so that's the first thing. Uh, the second thing is I I feel as if whenever we get stuff added on to the Doctor, and this is actually not a Chibnall issue, this also happened with Moffat as well. Anytime new lore is added to the Doctor and the Doctor's history, very rarely do I find it needed and or relevant. Like I didn't look at this and think, wow, I was asking all of these questions. They
Yeah. All right.
well what I mean is the show sometimes sets out to create an answer to a or create a solution to a problem that did not exist.
Well, I mean, it was a new problem made that season.
Yes, which that's fair. But what I mean is that like I I don't I don't feel like this adds anything major that I'm going what oh my good that I needed to see is what I'm saying. Like
Like you felt like you really wanted, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Because there, and like same thing when we found out the doctor's name. Even though, to be fair, that was like a big, arguably I should be a big deal to all of us. But to me, I was like, no, I'm perfectly fine,
I mean,
feeling
did
like
we ever actually hear the doctor's name?
technically it translated to who in English.
Oh my
Remember
god.
that? That was Smith.
Yes,
That was at his own grave.
okay.
Yes, yes, that happened.
No, I remember the whole his grave and everything. I didn't realize it actually like we got the
Yeah,
name.
yeah. Top Hat McGee said who.
Oh, Tom Pat
You
McGee.
remember him, right?
You mean the intelligence?
Yes, yeah. Top Hat McGee.
Tom Pat McGee.
That was him.
I want that to be a villain's name.
It is now, Tristan. It will forever be in your memories.
The intelligence is now forever Top Hat McGee. That is my head canon. Actually, no, fuck it. That is canon. I don't care what anyone
That's
says.
totally fair, man. Um,
You need to email Moffat right now and be like, I need you to do a rewrite. Hear me out on this.
I don't work there anymore. Bug Chibnall about this. Oh, I will.
Do me a solid. Pull some strings. I know you can.
I will bug Chibnall about it.
Oh my god.
Hey, you're retconning all this other shit. Can you just call him Top Hat McGee now?
Oh, Jesus.
Nothing else fucking matters, does it? That's a joke. I'm not actually upset. That's the thing. I'm not even like upset. I'd understand if someone was like upset. I wouldn't be like I'd be like don't get too upset. But I understand if someone would be like upset, like really, like now we're just throwing all this stuff into the doctor's lore. But I'm not even upset. I'm just like, eh. You were a bit more enthusiastic.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little like, as everything was still coming together, I was like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, I was following, but I was like, things were still kind of like, how is this all going to culminate together in the end? And then once it finally did, I was like, oh, all right, okay, I'm good with this.
Oh,
Like,
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense that this happened with her. I just feel like okay, but you had some interesting ands.
yeah,
You were telling me before the podcast, you were saying that you were interested in where this could go.
yeah, like I'm interested to see where it goes now because does she try and track down her other lives? Does she try and go home? Does she say, nah, fuck it?
And that's all fair. Um what I think also still confuses me, and I think they take this for granted far too much. And again, it's not just the Chibnall thing, it's in general at this point. I'm gonna one day watch the Master get dismembered and lit on fire, all of his remains burning in my wake. And then an episode later, I'm gonna see the same version of him walking around, and it won't be like a past version or something who looks the same, a few years earlier. It'll just be that same Master that I just saw dismembered and burned.
Right.
And then they'll go, tee hee, it's the Master, right? And I'm like, no, you just removed, because I was confused. I was like, so is this Master? I made this prediction, and it was just a prediction a few episodes back. I was saying, oh, we're gonna see like a version of the Master that was even before, like it was still this regeneration, but maybe it was before he even meets her, or
Right.
after he meets, whichever, before he meets her. And then this is like the end of him meeting her because he got thrown into the universe. No, it seems as if this is the Master who explained to her just a few episodes ago everything that happened, but then they're kind of going through everything again with us a bit as if we had forgotten, sort of. Like it seemed like he was like, look at what I've done. And it's just kind of like, yeah, bro, you showed her that before.
I mean, I think he's just rather proud of it.
Fair. Fair.
Uh,
He's looking at the Citadel that is phallic for so many reasons.
yeah, basically. Well, it's funny because I personally thought that he didn't actually go through with it. Like that was a trick of some sort. Like no, you didn't actually destroy Gallifrey. And then now we see. I mean, even now Gallifrey has new lore behind it too, in the sense that it's not all it's cracked up to be, which at first I thought was odd, but
I mean, it's Well, it's only weird because everyone believed it.
Yeah, like now it. I mean, granted, a lot like that's some really like secret stuff. That's like government secrets level.
And I think that's
Matrix to find that.
you
Just
have
that
to what?
difference alone should be like, oh,
Wait, what was that? You have to what to find that?
that the master was like, I'm a genius, and even I couldn't find out everything.
Oh, right, the decoded
How
stuff.
often I
Yeah.
say that? But I cracked the Matrix to find out what the hell you are.
And it's interesting. I understand how much the master hates the doctor, that the master would be this infuriated to find out that he in a sense is part of the doctor. So,
That was one thing I did really enjoy, like him being like the idea that you're special and I'm apparently not. I hate you and that and everything about this situation.
right.
Now, like after what he's revealed about Gallifrey, now it makes sense to me why he completely destroyed it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that would have pissed you off to no end.
Yeah, it's yeah, you know what? I mean, I do get it. I mean, something wants me to be like, "Really, bruh?" But it's like, "No, but it's the master." So I and this version of the master specifically.
Yeah,
So
and I
yeah,
like that idea that he, oh, what was it? It
he kept the
feels
bodies.
Yeah, no, it feels very much part of his character, even though this incarnation is a little. I suppose he's a bit more. Well, I can't even say trigger happy. He's kind of always been trigger
Well,
happy.
no, I like this version because I do think that he is different from John Sims. There's something about
Yeah.
Sims that was playful in a sense.
Yeah.
He is a lot more homicidal.
Yes.
Like
Even like Missy had that flair to her as well, but even she had moments of like she would be a bit more reserved about it and be more kind of like quietly holding a gun to your head, while this one is laughing maniacally
yeah,
while he's holding the gun to your head.
yeah, very childish.
Mm.
Is a way to look at it. Very childlike in a sense.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Um, but yeah, and also somewhat funny from the
Yeah.
looks of it. Or at least thinks that he's funny.
Honestly, the idea at first I didn't like the action figure maker when he just shrinks, because when he first said that threat, who do you want me to shrink next? I'm like, bro, really? Like
I
you
mean,
usually incinerate people. Like what? And then I realized, oh, like you just said, childlike. He's making toys. He's making real
oh,
people. He's
he's
playing with people like toys
yes. I think
because
we
they are to him.
That's interesting. I didn't even think of it that way. I know that
Yeah,
he
it
did.
only really dawned on me like this episode. I'm like, oh,
Right. Yeah, I was mentioning it because in the past he's actually you. Well, I was about to say rather. He's actually done that in the past. It's just it's a classic Who thing.
oh, okay, huh? All
We
right,
talked about that. We talked about that in the first two episodes. He said something. I think it was the first one or the second one. Yeah, no, he did in the first. So when he did that, he or the doctor said, "Ah, a bit of classic."
oh, okay, right,
Like you're taking it back,
yeah,
um, because he hasn't done that in God knows how long. So yeah, I get it. And especially now that like it's essentially if you don't have the ability to reverse them, it's a way of killing them though.
true, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
but
guess he
yeah,
doesn't like. I don't. I guess that's not reversible.
I assume if you have the device, it probably is, but it's him, so
True,
he doesn't give a
yeah.
fuck.
Why would he? Yeah,
Exactly. So no, I just look. I'm not saying that it doesn't have a layer of intrigue and that it won't be interesting to see where it goes. I just feel like the show. So the Doctor is special because the show is called Doctor Who. But and the Doctor has made their life or made their presence special just by going around and saving people. We don't need the Doctor to be like Jesus. That's the thing. We don't need that. That's kind of what I'm getting. That's kind of where I feel and where I fall in it. Where it wasn't something that I was like, oh man, this needs to happen. Actually, it reminds me very much of something that happened with the Dragon Ball Super movie and how that kind of changed Goku's origin. We didn't need him to literally be
baby
Superman. Anime
Yeah.
Superman. Yeah, we knew that he kind of was, etc., etc., but they literally turned it into Anime Superman.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's like we don't need her to be essentially like a Jesus type
Right.
character. She has made herself into one just by going around and everyone praising her name and the legends of the Doctor and all that stuff. But now it kind of feels like, well, it's like she was always destined.
It's funny. Half the time, I feel like the Doctor is either heralded as a savior or a destroyer, and that's not always from. I mean, I guess granted, you usually hear it from like evil society's mouths, but
Also, I want to know how this changes the. Speaking of evil societies, I want to know how this changes the relationship between the Time Lords and the Doctor, because apparently they must have loved the Doctor, but for some reason the Doctor was always getting on there. Like, what? Who knew about that? That's the thing too. Like, I don't know if they're ever gonna get to an explanation that'll make me satisfied. Who knew about this? How far did this go up? And why is that? Why they never killed the Doctor?
yeah, yeah, that is interesting to think about.
Also, once they like mined her of all of her, like could use her to
Oh,
make people into Time Lords, could
right.
or it gave them the power of regeneration.
Yeah, the regenerative gene.
So wait, but does that mean that they didn't need her once she left?
I guess, yeah.
I'm assuming. I don't know. It's just odd that they were just like not. It's just they gave me too much to
Yeah, that's
dissect.
what I mean. I feel like it it works out in the end, but the getting there, I was a bit like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um. And again, it's not like something that I hate. It's just something that it's just rather odd to me. And again, it's everything all combined. It's the fact that this was all hidden, but for what purpose was it hidden? That's
I mean,
another thing too. Like, why was this hidden? Oh,
I think it was hidden for the fact that like Gallifrey as a whole, like once they created their whole society and became kind of hoity-toity, like he said, they wanted a divine origin myth. They didn't want it to be, yeah, we extrapolated your genes and then we became, what we are.
well, no. In that regard, I understand. I mean, like, it's just funny that it had to be the Doctor. It could have been the Master.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could have been, but I really love the angle of him being angry about it, like because he's always thought of himself as, I am the pinnacle Time Lord.
Right.
I
Yes.
I am the master. I am everything. I am perfect. Fuck all of the rest of
And it
you.
ends up literally being the person who just doesn't want it.
Yes, yes,
No, yeah. I mean, it's another layer. It's just that it's one that was already there.
yeah.
Um, Also, it's another thing, and you can call me cynical at this point, but I said this last time when we did. I'm pretty sure it was last time when we talked about episodes 5 through 8. In another 5 years, are we gonna just have the whole thing changed on us again? Actually, the Master was lying. Oh well,
Yeah.
thank goodness. And the Time Lords were in a mega pocket dimension. Oh, even better. Well, thank
Well,
goodness there was a mega pocket dimension and the Master was lying. Oh, sneaky Master.
right.
I
I mean, it's
just
kind of funny, like the Gallifrey as we know it, or no, yeah, the planet Gallifrey as we know it is gone. Like the Time Lords as we know them are gone, seemingly.
oh,
Well, okay,
that's
I
what I'm saying. I'm not getting mad at you. I'm just saying that
no,
like
you're right. No, you're right to say that. You're totally within your right to say that. But
that's what I'm saying. It's been 12 series and we've had the Time Lords dead. Just
that's
kidding.
yeah, that's why I'm wondering if
Dead.
this time it's actually gonna kind of stick in a way because now they have, like I said, a whole new universe or a whole new home for her to try and find and
It's
try.
a whole new world we live in.
Oh my God,
It's a
you
whole
it's
new
full circle.
place to see. No, you're right. There's a whole new universe that she arguably came from. This is not just her Earth. It's not even her universe.
Right. And now that kind of throws into play like all her other lives that she lived. Like now it makes sense like why she didn't recognize, Ruth and everything.
And Ruth didn't recognize her. Fucking
Right.
hilarious, by the way. The fact that we were saying that Ruth was from another universe, Chibnall was just fucking us over good.
Right. It's the other way. Well, I mean, technically, we were half right,
Yeah, right.
or I was half right.
Yeah. Uh, Wait, what were you right about?
Like the being from a parallel universe. Granted, maybe not parallel, but like just another one in general.
I thought we both thought that.
Okay, maybe we did both
What did
think
I
that.
think? What time is it? What year is it? What did I think? Um,
Marty, what year is it?
but yeah, it's not that it was a bad story. It's just that I felt like it was also actually before I even talk about the no, I'll say it right now. I thought it was underwhelming while trying to be very overwhelming. And most importantly, was it just me or the master? I already mentioned, like, we're just taking for granted the fact that the master just gets out of everything and we never have to explain it ever for some reason. No, you don't even have to ask anymore, apparently. But when
No.
the master appeared at the end of episode 9, did that just seem. It didn't even seem confusing to me like like when the master was revealed in episode 1. It just
Right.
felt like, what?
I mean, I guess I felt a little bit like that, but at the same time, it's the last two episodes. They had like Chibnall needs to tie together all the things that he's wrapped up. So the master jumping out at that point, I'm like, okay, this is where it starts to all come together now.
No, yeah,
I
it's just.
I feel like it's appropriate to be in the most like crisis situation where the doctor's like, I have to help save my friends from these Cybermen that are coming down to eradicate them, and the master's like, I have something else more important for you to deal with right now. Excuse me? Now get in the wormhole, or I kill them myself right now.
Oh well, no, that is what it is. I'm just saying that it felt odd, like it's like, oh, we're about to, like this can go anywhere, and then all of a sudden it's connected to the Gallifrey, and it's just like, but how? And it's just the master jumps through, and it's just like, hey, you're coming with me, and I'm just sitting here, and like no one. It just felt odd, like it felt awkward even for the characters in a way.
Okay. I mean, I guess for me, my biggest question at that point was, so if all of like what was left of humanity was being sent through this gate, did the master also eradicate humanity?
No, 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 no. That's the issue. You see, that's what I'm saying. That's why it was so rushed and poorly done. It was connected to it just by him. It wasn't always connected to Gallifrey.
Okay, so you're saying in that moment he did it.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. See, that's why it was so. And you just saw it, and you were a lot more awake than I was. But it still goes by you because it just came by so fucking quick. It was not connected to Gallifrey because when she stepped on it, it was into a random nebulous. We don't know where it went to. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like, why is it connected to Gallifrey? And then the Master comes out and he's just like, hey, by the way, I did that, and you're coming with me.
Okay.
Yes,
I mean,
that's what he. That's what they literally said because it was like, oh, it's connected to. Why is it connected to? And then the Master's like, me, get in here.
okay. All right.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's just so fast, but not in a way that's like dun dun dun. It was just like, what's happening? We
Yeah,
need to.
because I was thinking if if it was the way that I was thinking, like humanity was getting herded that way, he's like, oh yeah, um, including everyone on Gallifrey, I also murdered all of the humans that
No,
you.
because the Gallifreyans would have murdered them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's not forget the murdered were once the murderees. Um, no, Matt, there's a different.
It's funny. The
Um,
more you think back on Gallifrey, the less you're like, maybe the Master kind of did a solid in a
well,
sense.
that's the thing. That's the issue. He didn't kill just the top brass. He killed like
No, yeah, there were
everyone.
people who didn't deserve it, obviously, but like the top brass of the Time Lords are pretty fucked.
Oh,
Which, I mean,
yeah.
again, it's supposed to be a reflection of, humanity too. It's sci-fi. Let's not forget where we are.
Oh,
But
yeah. No.
yeah, obviously, the top brass of any society is usually not great.
No. But also, by the way, I love the guy. The planet was. They thought it was a planet, but really it was him.
Oh yeah, no, I loved him because when they first went through and he was like, I can't believe that there are still humans left. I didn't think there would be anyone left.
Yeah.
And like the more he talked with other people, the more his personality started to open up. And by the time he was like with when he was with Ryan and the other kid who Ethan, yeah, I think his name was Ethan.
Right.
When he's like, oh, I set up defenses, like the turrets are working, classic. I was like, I love this character, I love him.
Oh yeah, well of course, because he's space Obi-Wan. Matt, Star Wars took place in it's space Obi-Wan.
It's funny, he almost reminded me of John Hurt a little bit. If
Me
like
too.
if like the War Doctor got to like, if you got to see the War Doctor like going through tactics and not be as like sad and like serious, but him just being like, ha, it worked. I told you it would work.
Well, as in the I think like during the war, he may have been a little bit like that, maybe.
Yeah,
Although apparently the way the canon worked, he didn't have the time to be that way because it was like, will it
yeah,
hurt? Yes,
right.
good.
I mean, can't necessarily blame him for that.
I don't. It's just. I don't know. I just imagine him brooding for like 100 years.
I mean, yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, no matter what happened, it was just like brooding, brooding, brooding. You saved me, mister. No, I didn't. Brooding. But anyway, so he was really cool, but I was kind of confused by the end where I am happy that he made this he made the sacrifice, but it was done in a way as if like the two of them had known each other for years.
Yeah, I felt like
There
that.
was a weird tone, right?
I liked it, but it did feel like it cheapened the moment. I feel like you should have seen him arguing with everybody. Like, even if it was just like a minute or two, being like, no, someone has to go and save her.
I'm not even saying that. Just the way he ran out and the way he spoke and the way she reacted and him taking it and the master like not doing anything and the Daleks not Daleks and the Cybermen not doing anything. Oh,
We're
by
just
the way,
to it at this point.
yeah, something I want to mention too, by the way. Normally, the master's plans to me make sense. Even though they're based in hatred and they're based in being a shitty person, they make sense. This one seemed really fucking funny. In a dumb way.
I mean,
Tristan, let me explain.
Afraid.
What? You were afraid?
I was. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me tell you why I wasn't afraid
Okay.
at all. It would be like if I was like, Tristan, my master plan is to take Wolverine, someone who can regenerate no matter what you throw at him, and put him in a suit of armor. I'm sorry? Put Wolverine in a suit of armor. But he's already Wolverine. Yes. And you're going to put him in a suit of armor. Correct. Does it, like, make him die slower? No. He still dies at the same rate. And he regenerates. Yes. So it's just the same powers, but in a suit of armor. Now you get it.
But one of the most tactically advanced suits of armor.
I mean, not really.
I mean, a step down from the Daleks, but I think the idea of how the Cybermen spread is more of their, claim to horror and fame.
But because the Master is controlling
almost,
them, they could have just been any kind of husks with a laser beam.
Well, when you put it like that.
No. When they are Cybermen who have a mission on their own and run around, I get it. I'm right there. They're terrifying, especially because they can convert me, a human.
Yeah.
Right. But when you're like, they're in the bodies of Time Lords, or Time Lords are in them, and they can consistently regenerate. So they're zombies that you could have just done any old thing with. No, stop it. Now you're making them sound stupid. So you're
saying, like, he could have combined the Time Lord regeneration process with anything else, and it would have...
Quite literally. You could have had Time Lord Jadoon.
I guess. I mean, I guess it does harken on the fear that's already built on the Cybermen
and
throughout the series in a way.
it's
But
kind of funny how the Master continuously works with the Cybermen.
I mean that too, but I mean because they're kind of easy to manipulate in a way.
Kind of, yeah. Oh my god, the Daleks, they would just both kill each other instantly.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like you can't, like in a way, like he said, our goals coincide.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you can't. Granted, I guess technically his goals would align with the Daleks as well if we're talking about the
No, but
destruction of all organic life.
but they would still kill each other immediately.
Yeah, Daleks are just that more fanatical, I guess. There's no reason, there's no way you can like have a conversation with them at first. They're just shoot first, ask questions, never.
Let's just put it on the table. They're assholes, okay?
Yeah, no, you're right.
They're assholes.
Yeah.
The Cybermen are assholes, but at least they'll be like, well, wait, hold on. You mentioned reason. I now have a cyber erection. Let's talk. So they'll talk once you mention logic and reason. They're like, whoa, buddy. That's like second date talk.
Oh my God.
I love the Master being like, oh, you want to become a robot. Anyone can turn themselves into a robot. And it's true. In Doctor Who, anyone could.
An idiot could become a robot. And then he immediately like grabs him by the throat. Like, say that again, motherfucker. That was pretty good.
Oh, were you as thrown off as I was? Because I thought until what was the, oh god, what was the name that they gave the Doctor? Brendan. I thought Brendan was like the name of like the Cyberman as a kid before he allegedly slit his mom's throat.
Yes, I thought that too. It's funny. Me and my mom were both watching like part 1 and 2. We watched part 1 before, and then part 2 as it came on live.
So yeah. Oh, wait. But it was it on DVR or did it actually air before the episode?
No, we DVR'd the first part.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. We were both super confused as to what the hell that was supposed to be a part, because we felt the same way. We thought it was supposed to be, the Cybermen commander's past life, and then when the Master turns him into an action figure, I'm like, whoa, wait, what? Like, we're just removing him from the picture now? Okay.
Yeah, but I was still convinced it was him and he was gonna get reversed or whatever. And then when he falls and nothing happens to him, I was like, oh, so he must have had that Cyberium in him already.
Yeah, no.
And then he's older and he retires.
Okay, so
and the dad is the same age.
Okay.
And I was like, who?
Father and the police captain look the same, and he's older. I'm like, wait, what in the fuck is going on here? Oh, what really got me in the end, what made me annoyed at myself that I didn't see the connection sooner, was the clock award. When he puts the clock down and then like you see it afterwards, I'm like, oh, that should have tipped me off that it was Time Lord, not.
But you know why it didn't though? Because when they put the thing on him to shock him, it looked like it was a Cyberman helmet.
Yes, it did. And I wonder if that was all on purpose to like keep you thinking that it was part of that and lead you away from the fact that no, this is the Doctor remembering her other past lives, ?
Oh, of course they were. And in that regard, I praise them for it. That was actually really neat. I enjoyed that a lot.
Okay. Because in hindsight, like now, like working it out, I do appreciate that misdirection. Like that takes work to make that level of misdirection.
Especially with how hard you confused me.
What in the fuck is going on?
Especially with how hard they confused me at the end of the episode 9, where they have him older, and I'm like, excuse moi? Yeah. And then they're like, we thank you for your service, but you're not going to be able to remember any of this.
Right.
Although I have to admit, and again, I guess they're going to, relay more info on this in the next season, but I'm a little confused as to, like, why they even needed the Doctor to do some of this shit, and what is this shit. I mean, granted, that's the whole point, because they're like, oh, we were never even here. There is no organization. Very much like a CIA cover-up or something. But I'm still thrown off because, like, for what purpose, unless they're sending the Doctor around to, like, kill famous people or something. By the way, the Master referenced assassinating presidents, so I'm like, is this like the 8th time we're going to make a Kennedy reference in this show? No,
Probably.
seriously, the Doctor has potentially killed and saved Kennedy like 7 times. I'm not kidding.
Right.
There's comics, there's books, there's Big Finish. I feel like they've mentioned Kennedy and even probably gone to the assassination
Yeah.
several times. But anyway, yeah, I don't know like why they would even need the Doctor in that position to make her forget, other than generally, like, I understand them wanting to make her forget because you want to keep the myth going on.
Yeah.
But after that, for what purpose?
For
I
what
don't
work?
I don't understand. You know? Like, who did she have to kill or save? And they had to be like, all right, you know. And also, I mean, I understand why they put it in that memory to make it inconspicuous. No one would no one would go through it, and no one would try to dissect it if it was in the memory of some human in Ireland.
Right.
But apparently she was not a human in Ireland. She wouldn't have been Ruth. Also, that's the thing too. Apparently Ruth was her when she was working with the organization from the looks of it, the subsection of the Time Lords.
Right. I get maybe.
I'm assuming because I mean it's a version of her she doesn't remember. So I don't know if it's going to be the same version that was hidden in those memories, perhaps,
Maybe. Yeah.
because she
I
looks
mean,
like she's older.
right.
I just want to make sure I get the name of the organization right. I forgot what it was called.
Organization 13.
It was very much like that, but also nothing like that.
The true Organization 13.
This did make as much sense as Kingdom Hearts. You're right, Tristan.
Oh, oof. I can't even tell you you're wrong.
I will say, though, at least this makes sense as to why the rules have not really needed to apply.
Right.
When I'm talking about the rules, I'm referring to the rules of regeneration. Yes, they said we can give you 12, but it's like, really, they could just give her more? Yeah, because it's all bullshit.
Right. She's the one with more. Everyone else is the one restricted to 12.
That's okay. I was thinking of it in reverse, but yes, you are correct. I was thinking of it like they could give her more because who cares? But you're right. Yeah, they could be after like 100. She's like, I can't believe the Time Lords are so nice to give me more.
Right.
Arguably, so I will say this: if Chibnall gets very angry at me and says, "You idiot, you buffoon, you monster," and I go, "Yes, sir," uh, he goes, the reason why I did this is so that we don't have to go through some bullshit 12 regenerations every
That too. Yeah.
X amount of years. That is actually quite smart. I think it was done in a way that is still very meh, but I do think that it's actually very smart to try to get around the idea of, you know, giving her. Because if we assume that she just has unlimited,
Yeah.
she only thought that she was a random, she was a rando Time Lord who had 12.
Right.
And then when she's like, Time Lords, could I get more? They're like, oh yeah, we'll gift you. Oh my god. But like at the same time though, it does feel like it retroactively makes everything else a lot less impactful. And also makes you wonder, can she ever really die? Because I know that we've looked at the show under the assumption that, oh, the Doctor's not going to die because this is our main character in the name of the show, literally Doctor Who. But can she actually not die? For realsies?
Right.
Is that what we're gonna like? I feel like there was a part of me that yes, obviously always knew that unless the show was gonna get canceled, they weren't gonna kill the Doctor. But now are we really gonna go through the rest of the show going, no, it's fine.
Right.
She could truly never die, and yeah, I guess maybe it turns to, oh no, are we gonna lose the companions every time? Although that's become to me formulaic because we do every time. Quite frankly, I'm happy that everyone lived.
Yeah.
Even though I fully admit I wouldn't like, but I would understand it would be good for the story if one of the companions died before she left the TARDIS.
Yeah. But I'm happy no one has yet.
Because I don't think it, especially once they separated Ryan and Graham, I was like, not today.
Yeah. Oh.
Not today.
Yeah, I think that was the other reason they may have gone with Cybermen too, because I feel like if they had gone with Daleks, like none of the other people in the episodes would have been able to do shit against them.
Speaking of, do you know the name of the special?
Yes, yes,
Oh, I don't know what it is. My DVR cut out.
okay.
I
I
mean, I'm
will.
sorry. I know what it is. I didn't know what it was. Was there a teaser or no?
No, it was just saying, Doctor Who will return on the holiday special, and they dropped the title.
Which I know the name of the title: Revolution of the
Oh,
Daleks.
Daleks.
And wait, they said holiday. Does that mean that they're moving back to Christmas or?
I believe so. I'm pretty sure it said holiday. Yes,
Well, I mean, technically, New Year's is part of the holiday, so
that's fair. Yeah, I mean, could be a different holiday too. What if they just switch it up and make it a different holiday special?
fuck, dude. You have no idea how happy I would be every year if they went for a different holiday.
That would be nice. Yeah,
The Hanukkah special, the Ramadan special. Fuck yeah.
the Kwanzaa special.
Why
Yeah,
in the fuck not? I would
yeah,
actually be hyped for that, especially because it would be a different spot every year.
yeah.
So
Right.
I'd enjoy it.
Oh no, I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy it. I'm just saying, like, depending on when or how they could film it,
Oh, it
it
would
might
never be done. It's not feasible. It has to be one. They could do a Hanukkah special, but it would have to be the Hanukkah special for like 3 years or something. They couldn't just switch it up every other year. Um,
And then do they make it like eight episodes a week, and they're like 5 minutes each, or like what? How? No, I'm kidding.
yes. Fuck you. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. Um, I would, dude. If they just gave me 8 episodes of Doctor Who in 8 days, I'd be fucking down for that.
I don't know, like, but like full like hour-long episodes. I don't know if they could do that.
I'm not saying they could. I'm just look, man. At this point, we're talking about random holiday specials for Doctor Who. Are you telling me we're in anywhere near the realm of possibility?
If we're going for realms of possibility, what if they did a different doctor, like a small little skit with a different doctor each time? Hell, we could even use doctors that we don't know about yet.
We talked about that last time. Remember? We were talking about before we knew who Ruth was.
Right, having like comics or just anything like what seeing her adventures, right?
Well, yeah, what I was saying was before we knew who Ruth was, and even knowing who she is now, there's still always a possibility. If you have a crew or an actor who's playing the Doctor, or even some of the other characters who say, "Hey, listen, I can't do this on a yearly basis for some reason or another."
Right.
There's always room to bring in another Doctor or another Doctor Who type show to put into that yearly gap, because I do, and I don't think it's like a Star Wars thing where I feel like I don't, Star Wars has they've kind of gone to that well a bit too much in movie form. Like it has to be one per year no matter what. It's like it's a big universe, but like calm down, Disney. But in this case, because this show it's a TV show, it's been going on since the 60s, there is so much.
Yeah.
They can do more Torchwood. By the way, I would like to say no Jack. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Why the fuck
I'm
would
sad
you?
about that too. I was
And
really hoping Jack would come in at some point and like just like save the doctor's ass at one point. Something small, just
he,
something.
I honestly, he didn't have to save the Doctor's ass. He could have literally, when before they docked on the ship, I thought Jack was gonna swing by and be like, "So
And
the
say
Doctor's with you guys? Is it her?"
right.
No. Oh, come on.
That would be hilarious actually, yeah.
Um,
Or just Jack helping them like defend themselves against the Cybermen. He's like, "Huh, deja vu. Hopefully I won't die as horribly this time. Wait, what happened to you? Ah, it's a long story."
also, and usually I enjoy the companions, but I wish there were potentially some more fiery companions with her this time around. And this is why. When someone tells you, and I understand the initial shock, but when someone tells you, by the way, the Cyberman that I let go, and I had to let it go, we're all there, right? Okay. Okay, Doctor. The Cyberman I let go may have extinguished 99.9% of humanity. And everyone's like, well, I guess we gotta save these. It's like, well, you do, but not even one little bit of, are you fucking serious, Doctor? Isn't that
Yeah,
something? I know the initial shock is like, oh my god, it did that. And you had to let it go. It's like, but yes, she had to, but like, not even a little bit of like,
yeah,
really?
but you did sacrifice almost all of humanity for this.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, and as
Yeah,
far as we know right
yeah,
now, that's canon until,
right.
and that's another thing too that becomes a problem for me.
Until it's not.
Until the next showrunner, it's canon, and that's what sucks. We've gone to the end of the world, we've got the end of the Earth, we've gone to the end of the universe, we've gone to the end of all planets ever, and now we're at the end of Earth again. I'm pretty sure we've already been to the end of Earth at least once.
Yeah, I mean that does like. Well, it's funny. You were the one who just said this is a TV show that's been going on since the '60s.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm not talking about old. I'm talking about even just in modern Who in these last. Well, let's see. Oh wow, technically 15 years. Wow, it's not 12 years, 15.
Yeah,
In this last 15 years, um, and granted, we don't know at what point, at what year this is. They don't want to give that up, understandably. But I kind of think it's funny. Like, even though this would have been extremely awful, I really would have enjoyed the Doctor being like, "Guess you don't have to worry about global warming."
oh,
No, because that was the big thing a couple episodes ago, right? Like, climate change is going to kill all of you.
yeah,
JK, it's actually Cybermen. And that was my fault. Like, the Doctor normally says things like, look, I've been pointed to as the de facto leader of Earth, but I shouldn't be in charge of all of humanity. You should. Well, the Doctor made a choice, and these are the consequences of her choice, and it feels like she doesn't really have to live through them because they've basically juxtaposed it with, oh, look at your past. So now we're going to be focused so hard on her past that we're not focused on this awful choice that she had to make.
yeah,
And again, I understand, like, well, what was the alternative?
yeah.
And I'm literally asking, I forgot what was the alternative. It's been a few weeks.
Of what her not
Yeah,
of
the haunting of Villa Diodati.
well, it was the idea of losing like what if Frankenstein was never written? What if this important work was lost?
English teachers who died by the Cybermen everywhere are praising the Doctor for her sacrifice. English teachers who were like, what would happen if we didn't have the work of Mary Shelley? Oh, we'd be alive? I would prefer that.
All I can hear right now is the frustrated gears of Anthony Toto's brain like working, like him holding up a finger to you right now and being like, ah, ah.
So Anthony, we've had Anthony on for episodes of Star Trek Thursday, and also he and I have done some episodes of well, it was initially, I think it was Halloween in July. It was either Halloween or Halloween in July. He and I talked about Ju-on the Grudge.
Like I feel like you've just posed to him the question that's always like I see online people joking about how long does it take, for someone to be buried for it to become archaeology, and me just being
Oh,
like,
oh, I thought you were talking about the meme where the guy is like sweating and he has to push two buttons.
yes, I mean
Um,
I've seen it like that too.
yeah, but no, yeah, and Mister Undergrad,
do I
yeah,
save, do I
can
save all of humanity, or do I make sure that literature is preserved? I'm just imagining Anthony being like, "Why would you do this to me?"
all I'm saying is the Doctor could have wrote it under a pseudonym. Would have still been there. Anyway,
Oh my god!
um, but look, man, I'm just saying that yeah, I don't know if this was the right choice, and again, like, it's just so odd that we're all supposed to just accept that as the right choice.
I mean, maybe it wasn't the right choice, but someone had to make it, and the Doctor's not perfect.
Oh, but no one even got to that point, is what I'm saying. We're not even getting to that questioning stage,
Yeah,
and that's what's odd when you end
yeah,
up being
but like,
a part of the death of humanity.
right. It's funny. I think I got the same, like, you're at, like, companions showing a little more fire. and being like, "No, Doc, you're wrong this time." Um, I kind of got that when she was like, "I have to go place the explosive. You guys get out of here." And she's like, "You let go of me, Yaz." I
But
like
how funny is it though?
I
Can
would
I?
just Yaz looking at her, being like, "No, you shut up and listen to me for once."
But how funny is it though? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Even though we both do that to each other a fair amount, but I'm sorry this time, and specifically for a reason. You had a very good point. Yes, we did get a little bit of fire there. But how funny is it that it's not about the death of humanity. It's we want to help you save the remnants of humanity.
Yeah, and no, I mean, I feel like it is a lack of fire in that moment because then Ryan like says, "Come on, Yaz, like let her go," and they back off. Where I feel like almost any other companion would have been like, "No," or maybe not any other companion, but a lot of other companions. Like all I could think of was Rose in that moment being like, "No, I'm going with you. Fuck you."
Yes. And don't get me wrong, there are three of them, so I actually was fine with I'm fine with them leaving. Funnily enough, I want the doctor to even be fierier. And when she was yelling at them, I was like, no, you can get guttural. You can get a bit more like, no, leave. Like she was like, no, leave. You should leave. Like she was angry, but I feel like she could have been even like more stern, even like angry. It's like,
Yeah.
listen, this is about your lives and I care about you guys so much, so get out. Like
Yeah.
she seemed mad but not like angry. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that like every doctor needs to be like screaming or raging, but this is about their lives and she seemed upset, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I feel like she could have went to the next level,
Did
and
you
that was the moment.
did you need attack eyebrows, Matt?
Yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice to have some attack eyebrows.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, I feel like it's the idea that like 13, this incarnation of the Doctor is a bit more, she's not aggressive, not that she can't be, but like that's not part of her character, and she does care about them, and even said like, she even said earlier in the episode, "I've been too reckless with you guys, like these are Cybermen. If you are captured, you will be converted and turned into them. Like you're human,
But
you
that's the
are
thing.
part
They
here."
they know that already. So she's pleading with them over something that they know. Like I feel like she could have been a bit more
Yeah.
uh I don't know. I'm not saying that it wasn't there because it totally was. Like I'm
Yeah.
not saying anything bad about like Jodie Whittaker. I just feel like the doctor could have stand to yell a bit and I'd be fine with it. I mean, this is all of
I
their
mean,
lives. She just witnessed this guy die in front of her and ooh, that always
right.
affects the doctor.
Yeah. I mean, either that or she would just sonic the door closed.
That's always an option for the doctor. Yes.
Yeah, right? No, like lock it and be like, and have them like pounding on the door, like, "Doctor, let us out of here. We're going to go and help you." And she's like, "Not this time, guys."
Also, normally I would enjoy a season of a show, especially now that it's happening with Doctor Who. I actually enjoy this. Them trying to tease the next season instead of it having it being wrapped up so succinctly. I enjoy them teasing the next season, but
Right.
this was just a weird out of place teaser. I'm referring to the teasing being the Jadoon locking her onto like in a prison planet.
I
I can
mean,
use words.
I honestly felt that was like directly out of the Doctor Who playbook.
They don't really do that with seasons though.
No, well, I mean, it immediately brought me back to when the Titanic crashes into the TARDIS and Ten looking up, "What?"
But that wasn't into a season, that was into a Christmas special, which they've
Right.
done before.
Okay. So not into it.
I
Well,
mean, technically, this is going into. I guess this is leading directly into Revolution of the Daleks, so
right.
never mind.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't for some reason, but you're right. It technically is leading right into that. That's fair.
Yeah, and
Um,
and even they even had 13. Like, they had Jody being like, "What? What?"
yes, yes.
I I lost my shit. I'm like, "Oh God, they're just like not recycling it, but like that's a reference. I don't care what." I don't care what anyone says.
But yeah, and let me tell you, okay, so here's why I didn't like it. And by the way, I felt that way. I felt this way earlier this season, but then it was explained in a way that I completely understood and I was fine with it. So, earlier this season,
Okay.
you know how the TARDIS is meant to be impenetrable? You know that whole thing, right?
Yes, I mean, I even said that too, but like it's happened so many times now that it's kind of like, well, I guess you don't know everything about the TARDIS.
But no, but that's the funny thing though. It when it happened this season, it was about essentially a god breaking in through dreams. That makes sense. I'm like, all right, I'm in. That's fair. But it usually doesn't happen unless it's an enemy transmission. I don't believe anything has actually appeared within the TARDIS this season that wasn't a god or something out of this universe.
Right.
That did not abide by this universe's laws of physics.
Okay. That's
In this case, it was the Jejun, who I believe do abide by this universe's laws of physics. Hence the breaking of the horn.
right. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's my only thing. I'm like, is everything just getting into the TARDIS now? Because you've explained the other two, in my opinion, fairly easily. Like, well, these aren't just normal. Heck, when the Doctor was asleep, the Dream Lord
Right.
was quote unquote in the TARDIS.
I mean, we got a package delivered to the TARDIS as well. Granted, that's not really an attack, but
I mean, but also let's remember that Amazon can get into a TARDIS. It's Amazon.
oh, okay. So a rogue police force can't is like a no-no, but Amazon, all right, yeah.
No, they need a warrant. Amazon can just burst right into your door.
Oh, rogue force. They don't need a warrant.
I know, yeah.
Problem.
I know, that's the problem. They don't need a warrant. I mean, that's the thing. Maybe they'll mention a one-off thing. The shields weren't up or something. Because usually that's what they say. Oh, how did this happen? The shields weren't up. Like that's why
I wonder if that was the TARDIS. Like the TARDIS saying some. Oh, that was hilarious. Like, oh, I took a spin the long way around. The chameleon circuit actually working on that one, disguising itself as a tree, was fucking hilarious. And then
the house.
Yeah. Oh, 13 walking in and being like, oh, I got another way home. And then the TARDIS sounds and she's like, oh, don't be jealous.
Yes.
Oh, God. I laugh. But yeah, she turns around and says, give me a minute. I need a minute to internalize what the fuck just happened to me. I wonder if the TARDIS was like, all right, I guess I'm just letting him in then.
It was funny. I hope that they make some random one-off reference like, oh, the shields were down, my bad. Something silly like that, cuz like I don't want everything to like I don't know, they've done a good job up to this point to be like, oh no, the shields. Oh no, this is an eternal god being you must destroy within the 45-minute time limit. Or the 50-minute episode runtime. But no, yeah, did you think that this was a powerful two-parter?
I mean, I feel like when all is said and done, I did enjoy it, and I think it, yeah, I think it hit where it needed to. Maybe not as much as past seasons have hit me, but yeah, I felt like it did its job.
I'll admit, I'm happy that it wasn't the universe in peril. It's just odd to me that, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that you could argue the Earth wasn't even in peril. The Doctor lost before she even got to Earth, basically.
Yeah.
And no one's like mentioning it. Like we're all like supposed to be like okay with it.
Right. I mean, that's what I kind of felt like when the Master put together like, let's have Time Lord bodies in cyber suits, and like, funny, I looked at it, I'm like, they can still only regenerate 12 times. Granted, that's still horrifying, like it coming back 12 times. You still have to kill it in the first place.
Also,
but when that unfolded, I was like, oh crap. This was the first time in a while that I kind of looked at it. I'm like, oh, I don't know if the Doc can fix this.
That's true. That I liked.
I know she will, because that's like Doctor Who. That's how it goes. But I was actually like, oh shit.
But that is the beauty of this. Fixing it only means that the corpses don't move. Um, that's
Just don't.
that's it.
Jesus Christ.
That's no, but that's fixing it at this point, and so I do respect that. Um, but when I say that, not that the stakes weren't high, it's just that it's just weird that we're already coming into this with that loss. We're not supposed to question it. Everyone's chill with it, and then also, oh right, I was getting at this before.
I feel like that's happened before too.
The doctor has. Well, here's the thing. Usually, what happens is the doctor will get, obviously all the time, thrown at wherever she doesn't want to go. Sometimes too far in the timeline, but usually it's, oh my god, we're at the end of blank, and then there's a problem, and it's like she never. And but usually, by the they are in the middle. They're in the thick of it before it's like, oh fuck, this is what's happening. All the doctor had to do this time, like I mentioned earlier, was just look at the window and go, yeah, everything's fucked, but since we haven't stepped outside yet, we could go back 100 years, because like that 18-year-old was like, I was born, or teenager, I was born in the war.
Right.
That old man, damn it, I keep on forgetting his name. Kung Fury, what was his name? Ko Sharmas. He was not an old man when that war started. He's been there for like, wow, maybe like 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years. But more importantly than that, what I wanted to mention was when the master was like, oh, let's bring in the Cybermen. I was under the impression, I was like, oh, did he use the Cybermen to destroy Gallifrey? Because like, I know Gallifrey is always in a touchy spot, and the master has been the master for a very long time, but he killed everybody? Like what, barehanded? With weapons? Not one person was like, shoot him in the head.
I mean,
good thinking, Bob. Like, I thought he like you could argue maybe he like raised it with like a ship or something, but like he makes it seem like he just gave everyone a handshake and a neck snap.
Yeah, no, he definitely set something up to explode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people there. He couldn't have done that by hand. Yeah, so I don't want to sound like a big downer or anything like that. I just, I do think it's interesting where they could go. It's just that even just on its face, it's just one of those things where I appreciate what it wasn't because of what we've gotten so many different times. The universe being in peril, the Earth being in peril, but in a different sense. Usually during the modern time. And it's funny because technically this entire season has been set only on Earth. That's kind of funny.
Right.
Spyfall was in the present day. Present and past. Orphan 55 was in the future. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror was in the past. Fugitive of the Jadoon was in the present day. Praxeus was in the... technically was present day. Can You Hear Me was in the past / present.
Yeah.
The Haunting was in the past, and then this was in the future. So all on Earth, funnily enough. But yeah, so I don't know. I want to see this with fresher eyes. Maybe if I watch it before the special, and I can get a different take on it. It's just that my mind tells me so hard that it is unnecessary that I think it's impeding my enjoyment of it, which doesn't always happen with Doctor Who. Sometimes I'm like, when it's just a big thing going on, I'm usually into it, but when it's about the Doctor's past, it's sometimes hit or miss with me. Because you know what also was hit or miss with me?
That's
Clara.
fair.
Visiting every regeneration. Or did she?
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun. Did Clara see every regeneration? Because if she did, she would have known that the Doctor was hiding a few.
Right.
I'm kidding. No one wants to remember that.
I'm like, why? Why did you bring that?
Because I didn't enjoy that at the time. I was like, we don't, like, companions are very important to the Doctor, but they don't need to be that like involved in his life.
I am involved with every one of your lives. Okay, hang
And I
on.
guess I forgot if it was also in canon, technically future lives as well. Like apparently Clara met 13. I don't know. It's been a while.
I would enjoy seeing Clara hang out with 13, but
Well, no, I mean it's funny. I've never had a problem with older companions coming back to say hello. It just sucks that Moffat was like, but what if they all died?
yeah.
And then for some reason was like, but what if they didn't? But they were just stuck in New York for eternity. They weren't, but the Doctor can't
Well,
go to
I
that
mean,
specific part of New York for like eternity.
we have we have differing differing views on that.
I mean, well, no, they weren't. They're not stuck in New York for eternity. The Doctor just cannot travel there for eternity.
Yeah.
That specific part, though, only that specific part. It's not like that whole time, that whole year is like time locked or anything. But that
Yeah.
one specific moment in New York can never happen again,
Right.
which means that it'll probably happen next season.
Oh my god.
I'm not mad at Chibnall. He's just trying to add more to the lore, and like, good for him for trying.
Yeah, I mean that was one thing I came across like as the commercial break rolled around. Like I was talking to my mom about it. I'm like, hey, I was like, at the very least, like, shit, he's certainly left his mark on the lore. Like that.
Yeah. And I'd argue, despite me feeling the way I feel about it, again, it's much better than the Doctor's name, and it's much better than having one companion just touch all of the Doctor's lives for no reason.
Yeah.
I prefer this. It's just that, again, like my pessimism is getting in the way, and I feel like I made jokes about them, the mega, the mega pocket dimension, but like something's gonna happen, man, where the Master's gonna be revealed to be lying next regeneration, or somehow we're gonna get some weird. If it's a twist within Chibnall's run, that's a different story, but
Right.
something's gonna happen. There's gonna be a new Doctor, and it's gonna be a whole new fucking thing.
Right.
But yeah. So I do wonder though what could come of, because I assume it wasn't just Ruth. That would also be kind of shitty, wouldn't it? Even though there were other regenerations, the only one we're gonna follow is Ruth's.
Yeah. No, I would like to explore the others.
Maybe not like another 13 or something, but like
Right, but at
there
least
has to have been like 2, 3.
like a solid 5 would be nice.
There had to have been.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not at this point, now that we know that it's so fixed and locked, I'm not saying we revisit them in a full series.
Right. I mean, hell, Big Finish or a comic run of these different lives, that would be cool.
Well, I don't know. I feel weird about it because I think it's only going to be told within the confines of she was in this organization.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like I was the Doctor running around and saving people. It clearly seems as if it was like a mental defense mechanism or what. But after everything was erased and all she was an old man.
Right.
He was like, fuck all of this, I'm outie. And he left. With his granddaughter, who like, is she even his granddaughter? Was she part of the organization too? How deep does this go? She was
God.
a fucking mole.
Oh no.
Thank God he left her on that planet. She was a fucking mole and she knew it.
Jesus Christ.
She was a sleeper agent, Tristan.
God.
I'm just kidding. No one's ever going to mention her again.
Oh.
No, literally you want to know the only time I'm pretty sure. I
know.
mean, yeah. Do you want to know the only time she's been mentioned, as far as I remember, within the last 5 years? Capaldi mentioned her.
Yeah.
In an interview, not an interview, in like a meet and greet with kids at the Doctor Who museum.
Right.
He said, he's like, did you know that I used to have a granddaughter? And they were like, really? He was like, yup. And her name was Susan. And I miss her dearly. And I was like, Yeah, you too.
Oh God, did the Master destroy Susan?
No, she wasn't on the planet. She was
Oh right.
the last time the Doctor left her, legit just left her. Goodbye. She
Oh yeah,
wanted
she
to be
was on Earth,
left.
wasn't she?
What?
She was on Earth, wasn't she?
Uh
Wasn't it the Dalek invasion?
yes, it was a future Earth, another future Earth with
Oh,
the
okay.
invasion of the Daleks.
Right. Which
In
is so much better.
I could swear it was like the year 2555 or something.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Invasion of the Daleks. Oh, it was 2150,
Well,
right? I'm not crazy.
100 years, 130 years before we get there.
I mean, it's fine. They lived just to get killed by the Cybermen, apparently.
Oh.
The serial is set on the Earth in the 22nd century when the Daleks occupy the planet following a meteorite strike and a deadly plague.
That's oh my god. That sounds like a plot of Godzilla.
Basically, yeah. Doctor, I see it too. What the fuck is that?
Roar in the background. Oh god, is it bad that I kind of want that? I think it's bad.
I love it. You can't use the word love. I know, usually I cannot. I love it. I love it so much. Love, love.
The Dalek explodes. Another one gets blasted with atomic radiation. I don't know whether that would make it stronger or kill it. Oh god.
I don't want to know.
The Doctor has to team up with Godzilla to stop the Daleks.
But no, yeah,
You
so
can not step on that building. They still have people in there. Oh, they did what to you? Oh, look, all right, I know they've made some mistakes, but oh god, it's 12 talking to the T-Rex all over again.
I'm just going to move on from everything you've just said. I don't know. Did you see the serial? The Dalek Invasion of Earth?
I don't remember.
All right, so for those of you who haven't, again, unsure which Tristan, I saw it a very long time ago, but I'm rereading it just to make sure. Yes, Susan was like, "Grandfather, I want that man, and he wants me too." And Hartnell was like, "Well, it seems as if you want to leave the show now, so you're allowed to do it." And then, no, literally, it was just that. It was just she was just like, "Grandfather, I want him, like bad grandfather." And like, she was just like, "Whatever, that's fine." And then literally, like, that's it.
I'm
She
too
just
old and British to deal with this. No,
no, like,
fine,
she just
whatever.
yeah, like she stayed on Earth to get some of that.
Yeah, well, they
And he
married.
never saw her again. I think they made a reference somewhere to her being involved in the Time War
Right.
or being lost in the Time War. But again, that's irrelevant because when they were sealed away, they were doing just fine. And now they're not. But again, was she sealed away on Gallifrey or is she still on Earth somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh well.
But Matt, who knows? Who knows?
That was cute. I liked when that happened. I didn't at the time, but in hindsight, that's actually adorable. And also, I should be extremely fair, and I mean very, very fair. This episode, the serial aired from November 21st to December 26th of 1964.
Yeah.
I should be fair. I shouldn't be a dick when it 1964.
Yeah, you're heading the way of a right smacked bottom, you are. Can we pretend that never happened? No, I want to talk about that again forever.
Okay, right. That was a quote. Before you said that, before I realized that was a quote, I was like, Tristan's getting very sexual late at night.
Oh god.
Wow, the actress who played Susan, 79.
Damn.
Hell yeah. Kick ass.
Yeah.
Sorry, I heard that she did voiceovers, so now I'm scanning through what she's done. That's odd. Sorry, she was in 2 Doctor Who episodes or specials or something. Doctor Who: A Happy Ending does not sound right, and Doctor Who: Planet of Giants.
That sounds right.
Yeah, right. Thank you, thank you. I was also quite. I was also. Oh, she was in the 5 Doctors. I didn't get up to that part in Doctor Who. It's 1983.
Huh.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
she
Okay.
was.
Yeah, I didn't see it. So I mean,
I
so then
did see
fine. He
it,
saw her once again.
but I didn't see the actual episodes. It was a special. It was a Fathom event. Like
Oh,
just
okay.
me.
Oh, okay. I thought you saw them streaming on Twitch because they'll do that every now and again.
No, no, yeah.
But but yeah. So either way, though, yeah. Anything else you want to say about this two-parter before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah. Graham's one-liners were great, and I love that conversation between Graham and
Yes, that was fucking hilarious.
yeah.
It's basically a love letter.
Yeah, I say all these wonderful things about you, and all you give me is you're an okay person too. Really?
I'm from Yorkshire. That's basically a love letter. That
Oh,
was really nice. Although it is kind of funny that he
God.
looks at Yaz and his grandson. He's like, Yaz, you're the best person I know. And I was like, ooh, Jesus.
I mean, I also Ryan's shot on the Cybermen when he throws. He's like, "What is this?" And then he's like, "Just throw it at them when they come by." And he makes
If
the
Graham
shot.
saw that, maybe he'd say he was his favorite person. Or his what was the specific thing he said to Graham said to Yaz?
Yeah, that oh, that you said to the doctor that you thought she was the greatest person you ever met.
Yeah,
And yeah, Graham says,
but
"You know
really
what?
you are, and it's just
You're
like,
the greatest. You are. You're the greatest person I've ever met."
and I was like, that's nice, but like, I mean, I think at that point maybe he legit assumes that Ryan died.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he says, look, just in case we don't get out of this, and she's like, "We will." He's like, "Oh, I know, like, but just hear me out."
Yeah, I am wondering if maybe he legit thought Ryan was dead.
I mean, I think he just wanted the chance to say something because,
Yeah.
yeah, like thinking about it, like I might not get another chance to say this, so I want to say it now while I can.
Yeah, it was nice, especially because it seems like her parents, they appreciate her, but not like they do say nice things. I don't think they're not like, abusive, but
Yeah.
they
I mean,
can be a bit distant, I think.
I think it was also for herself as well, being like, yeah, like I see the effort that you put in, like, because from um, the episode with the dream gods,
Right.
you see a little bit more into her past. Like, yeah,
Right.
she was lost for a bit, and she didn't get onto the path that she's on now for a bit. So I think, hearing that from someone else from the outside really like meant a lot to her too.
Definitely.
She does say that. She's like, that's probably the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Like, thank you, Graham.
So yeah, when it comes to these characters, I think they work well together, and I'm happy to see them grow with each other. It's just that like we mentioned much earlier, or I mentioned much earlier, and you agreed wholeheartedly. It would be nice if there was a bit more pullback from them and the Doctor in ways that doesn't even have to hinder them. This is where I jump in more. Doesn't even have to like hinder them in their lives, but it's just like you would think something like this would come with some kind of consequences. Like a version of her would be mad at her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the Doctor would hold the Doctor accountable if it's just like you made a decision that killed all of them and you didn't even think to go back into the past and fix it. Well, we can't disrupt the timeline. Are we really getting into that right now? Us disrupting the timeline?
Yeah.
Us? Really? So maybe I think that's maybe what it is too. I think, again, it's just hard for me to really like jump into this and enjoy it when like the crux of it, the core of it is based on a lie. Oh God, I've become the master.
You would become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Pretty much. No, yeah, but I mean, this is all based on something that Doctor Who is. Even though I hate when they go back in time, this was the one time it actually made sense. Where it's just like and I know it sounds funny to say out of context. I hate when they go back in time, but like I hate when I know, right? That's fucking hilarious. But to expand on it, I hate when they, break their own rule so much where it's like, oh, we can't go back, even though because we've already meddled in it, and they still go back anyway and do something. But this was the one time they actually could have, and it would have worked.
Right.
And they were like, no, we mustn't. Don't think about it. We mustn't. They must have all died. And we must leave it that way, because they died, and we never go back in the past. To before someone died. Like, with this logic, why did we have to save, well, not Mary Shelley, but her husband? Why did we have to save him? He was gonna die. You can argue it wasn't supposed to happen, but, like, arguably this was not supposed to happen. What?
No, I was just gonna be like, look, man.
Anyway, look, I don't hate this.
Anything else to retort with?
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I love you, and I love Doctor Who. It's just I was not feeling this two-parter. There's some good things, but I was not feeling it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy you were able to.
Yeah. And hey, talking about the show, talking about episodes, that's, what we get into.
Did I ruin it for you?
Like, it's fine that it wasn't your cup of tea. Like, we've even done this, we've been in reverse with other episodes. You were like, I love this. And I'm like, I don't know.
How? You're like, hey. Yeah. All right. But, I mean, I am interested in seeing where the holiday special goes. Usually a good holiday special will cleanse the palate, I think, for anyone who didn't like this. So I am curious to see where the show is going to go with some of this new information. I'm not like sitting here like, I'm going to stop watching Doctor Who. But
right.
I do think that having a break might help and might, like get me to be like, oh yeah, let's see what's coming, where Doctor Who can go from here. Because I just will admit though, like, it will get me upset. And if we're still podcasting on it at the time, I will be telling you, hey man, I don't know if I can watch this anymore. If in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years, this all gets reversed somehow.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I really can't say with any, affirmation or any knowledge because we're not there. But
that's what's scary about the not about the show. That's what's like a little off-putting. Very much like a comic book. It's like it gets. I love having different showrunners, but I feel like there's certain things that there has to be some higher a showrunner to a showrunner to be like, no, this has already been established in this specific era of Who.
Yeah,
you can't you can go where you want to, but like, bruh, And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that like the problem is that we're learning more about the Doctor. I mean that we've killed the Time Lords. And in 3 to 4 years from now, they're gonna be brought back to life.
Well, see, I feel like the only reason I want to say in this instance I don't think that's going to happen is that now we have a new homeworld to focus on for the Doctor to go and find. Like, where am I actually from? Who are the people that I actually come from? What are they like?
Right.
I feel like that's where we're going.
Which, again, would be very interesting to see where that goes. I don't... And it technically doesn't interfere with her history at all because she still regenerates. She still lived, she still lived as a Time Lord. And in the same way that she thinks of herself as kind of an Earthling, she can still call herself a Time Lord, I hope.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we need to, like, go the master route of her being like, I'm not as angry. I wouldn't have killed them all, but I guess I'm just not a Time Lord anymore. It's like, well, no, you lived there. You resented them, but, like, you lived there. You were a Time Lord.
Right, yeah.
It's the regenerative part that's technically not a part of them, but it's only a part of her. She just passed it on to them genetically. Which means that every human can regenerate now, past around the vaccine.
Oh God.
You all are going to be able to regenerate. I do feel weird about like her mom somehow. Like I hope they don't go in this weird direction where it's like her mom actually inspired her actions to leave the Time Lords. It's like no, she could also have her own agency. Like I
Yeah.
hope we don't rely too heavily on the mom, quote unquote, i.e. the, the scientist who helped raise her. I hope
Yeah.
that we don't rely too much
Her
on
foster
her.
mother, basically. Yeah.
What was that?
Although her foster mother, basically.
Yes.
Although I wonder if you could even call her that because they really make it seem like all it was about was I need to figure out what you are. It's like
It,
you didn't really spend too much time with this child other than being strapped to a lab table, did you?
well, no, early on it felt like she did, and then it
Right.
became an obsession.
Yeah.
But what I'm worried about is because like there was some talk of like, oh, was it your mom that scrambled this to try to leave, but she left you clues. I feel like I'm worried that it's going to be one of those like I might have seemed like a mad scientist, and I was, but I cared about you, so here are some clues to help push you on your journey because I see that you can be so much more. And then for some reason, like she's the reason why she got the TARDIS or something. I left the TARDIS for you in that one exact spot. I'm just saying, like, there's some. I mean, we saw what happened with Clara. This show has no problem
Yeah.
going into some very. Some territory that takes away the Doctor's will, the
Yeah.
free will from the equation. But either way, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm more. I don't want to say I'm excited. I'm interested. I'm more interested than not interested. Especially after talking to you about it, Tristan. You've made me more interested in where this could go.
Well, I'm happy to hear that at least then. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I was left to my own devices, again, just by, I do wonder if it's a tired thing, but just the way the pace of the episode, the way everything was set up, it just made it seem.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I definitely did feel weird through the episode. Like like I said, it once it all came together, I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I started to feel better about things, but like the road getting there was a bit rocky for me because I'm especially with those flashbacks to before realizing, that was the Doctor's life, not
Right.
the lone Cyberman. I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. But either way, we would like to thank you so much for listening in as always. This seemingly is the last Doctor Who Wednesday of the year. We do a lot of other stuff as well, though. We may eventually go back to either some earlier series of Doctor Who, maybe some cute little serials, but as of right now, usually when it comes to Doctor Who around this time of the year, we bid you adieu. But remember that we also have Friday night movies. We also have Anna Saturdays. Occasionally we'll do a TV Tuesdays, but usually we don't do that as much. We do have Star Wars Wednesdays as well. We have Star Trek Thursdays. We have a lot of different fun things that we talk about on either this channel if you're watching through our Those Guys on the Radio channel, or if you're on our Podbean, which is podbean.com/Those Guys Radio. We also have a lot of fun episodes there. We're actually putting a lot of our archives up on there as we speak. As this comes out, there's also a ton of archives surrounding it. I mean, Tristan, you and I have talked about so much stuff over the years. One Punch Man, Samurai Jack, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z. Oh man, way too much stuff. Random movies and OVAs, some that were good, some that were not so good.
We're going into the podcast TARDIS. We're going back in time, forward in time to podcasts we don't even know that we've done yet.
We've also talked about Toy Story stuff, like the movies, some of this cute little Halloween special. We've talked about the Shyamalan movies, 12 Nights of Shyamalan. We've also done Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. New Jurassic World coming up this year, I believe, right?
I believe it's next year.
Oh, fuck. Well, either way, when it does come out, we'll be doing a review on that as well. So again, so much stuff available through us. So hopefully you tune in to something else as well during this but during this hiatus. So goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you next time or earlier.
Yeah, possibly. Maybe. Who knows?
See ya.